Ripple just partnered with the University of Kansas Athletic Department. This is big headlines. And to be honest with you, this is just a qualifier to show people that real projects, quality projects are building no matter what. Dive right into it here. This made headlines earlier today. We see that there's pretty much history being made. The first ever crypto sponsorship of a major college athletics program starts today. If you guys don't know the history behind this is actually CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse's alma mater, and this is where he graduated from. And pretty much they're announcing a multi-year partnership with Ripple, and the partnership features XRP as a jersey patch sponsor, and this puts major crypto directly in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. All right, and it's the first time this has ever been done, and pretty much Kansas Athletics is calling this deal a strategic jersey patch partnership, and Ripple is using this partnership, of course, to expand brand visibility beyond traditional crypto audiences. Why is that? That is because when people come into crypto, they're going to go with what they've seen before, or what they notice, right? And that's what the importance is of this. And there's a lot of haters coming out the woodwork, pretty much saying, "Oh, this does nothing. This is," I mean, it does. Right? People that are new to crypto, they're going to go with what they've seen before and what they're familiar with. So we see here Ripple is doing what they do, continuing to build, continue to establish partnerships. This is probably the second major headline this week so far. And now, we see them putting XRP into the mainstream sports culture through, pretty much one of the most important sponsorship lanes when it comes to visibility. Because when some of these people go pro, if you follow University of Kansas Athletics, they have a lot of pro players go pro, NFL, as well as NBA. All right. When they go that route, now people are going to be able to get their jerseys. XRP is going to be on that jersey. All right. So that's how big this is. No matter what anyone says, that's how big this is. People that are not in crypto are going to be buying jerseys with XRP on it. And even if they don't know crypto as a whole, they're going to recognize XRP. All right. Brand awareness. It matters despite what anyone says. And Kansas Jayhawks as well made a announcement as well shortly afterwards. And they announced the groundbreaking partnership with Ripple, bringing XRP brand to the uniforms, guys. So when those uniforms are sold, they're going to have XRP on it. All right. When these athletes go pro, whichever ones go pro, they're going to have XRP on their jerseys. All right. So this is big. That's how big of a deal this is. First mover advantage when it comes to this type of marketing. So very excited. Almost like a crypto.com play, except now it's directly with players. Crypto.com was a lot of places as well. And you're seeing this, but this is the first time we've ever seen it on actual jerseys. So this is big. So very excited for that. Next up, we have Starkware CEO suggests 4% annual Bitcoin inflation to replace 21 million market cap. All right, or 21 million cap, I should say. It's not market cap. So Ben Sasson suggested replacing Bitcoin's 21 million cap with a 4% annual issuance rate, and his argument is that Bitcoin private keys are lost over time, and this means the amount of usable Bitcoin could keep shrinking because people just lose their keys. Someone dies, doesn't give instructions to anyone else, just sits in a ledger forever. Ledger previously estimated that up to 4 million Bitcoin may be permanently lost. Ledger, if you guys know Ledger right here, you guys know Ledger pretty much came out with that report, and they have the data, right? They have the data. They can see, and everyone else can see too on the blockchain, what has moved, what hasn't moved. And they're putting that out there. Ledger, definitely a major player when it comes to holding your own crypto for sure. And we'll talk about Ledger and dive in depth with that soon. But here they're saying that the answer could be in Zcash's proposed fix. And they're recommended that Bitcoin developers follow a proposal currently being considered in the Zcash ecosystem, since the privacy-focused network also relies on miners to secure the network and has a fixed supply cap of 21 million Zcash. So a lot of people are coming up with solutions, or proposed solutions, I should say, with what they can do. And pretty much what they're trying to do here, for the most part, is saying that Bitcoin's fixed supply is one of the strongest narratives that's changed, and changing it would be extremely controversial, especially to the Bitcoin maxis, right? Completely controversial. And so, we're seeing that people are proposing a pivot, right? Because they want to be able to adjust. If you talk to Bitcoin maxi side, they'll say Bitcoin was made perfectly as it is, no adjustments needed. That's how Satoshi Nakamoto made it. And, that's it. Don't touch it. Don't adjust. Don't do anything. All right. So we'll see how this plays out. I definitely think innovation is needed, right? Innovation should be embraced. And that governance part is what you don't see in Bitcoin, right? No matter what, like, you don't see that governance point where people can find an alternative for better security, or being able to transact or send it more cheap, with the Lightning Network. Lightning Network was a good upgrade, right? Because it didn't do anything to the code, right? And here we're seeing that, they're bringing people, bringing data from Ledger, where and they're just estimating this in November alone, up to 4 million had been burned or permanently lost. And so Ben Sasson is bringing that in, and he's saying he still supports the upper bound of Bitcoin supply. But, there's things when we talk about adoption, there's things coming in that, he's saying, like, over time, all keys will be lost, right? Because a lot of people, we're self-custodying. With that self-custody, if you don't have things in place, someone's going to mess it up. Someone's going to misplace it. Over time, it's all going to get messed up. All right. It's going to get stolen, misplaced, or, just managing it yourself. And then if you go to the institutional custody, now you're trusting the institution again to do right by your crypto. All right. And so, there's a ton of caveats that go into that. But I think overall, Bitcoin's fixed supply is the strongest narrative of Bitcoin, and changing it is going to bring headwinds for sure. Like, I can tell you right now, that's more than likely not going to happen. Something catastrophic will have to happen for that to even be considered. And it has to be so crazy that that's the only way you get to that point. So, we'll dive into that, and we'll keep you updated. Definitely good conversations though. Good conversations being had, which is healthy. Very, very exciting. Next up, ESMA turns spotlight on crypto custody risk after MiCA transitions. So the European securities regulator will assess custody providers, key management, and incident response, and reliance on third-party technology providers. So they're not launching here a dedicated review of crypto custody providers, and pretty much that review is following the end of MiCA transition phase. Is happened July 1st, and regulators will assess authorized crypto asset service providers across Europe. So the focus here is going to be on custody, security, and operational resilience. And here they're saying that this includes key management, storage management, and transaction controls. Regulators here, they're saying, will also review governance, incident response, and reliance on third-party tech. And the review will run through the first half of 2027. So Europe's moving fast. So Europe's moving from crypto licensing into active supervision and custody. So, this is one of the first targets when you talk about pushing forward no matter what. And that's kind of why I was saying, like, you talk about the Clarity Act in the United States, Europe kind of went from no to like pushing forward fast. Like, this is happening fast. A few months ago, I was like, I don't know. I don't like the reports that are coming out of Europe. And it went from we don't like it to embrace, like, adoption moving fast. So I think you're seeing that with they're not waiting on clarity. Like, Europe and these countries in Europe are not sitting around just waiting on the United States clarity. They're moving no matter what. And so that's what I like to see. So Europe's increasing scrutiny on crypto custody providers. That's okay, but crypto's no longer staying inside of crypto circles. It's moving very fast into sports now, into regulation, into global financial infrastructure. And that's what you want to see. It's one of those scenarios where they say it's happening slowly, then all at once. And that's what we're seeing. We take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is back out of our range again. And what we're seeing here is coiling back again. We're back down to 61.9 at the time of this video. And what I want to see is what happens, guys. So we saw crypto go right back into our range and then come right back out, guys. So that divergence held. We did have that push up. We didn't break the level that I wanted to. Like I said, guys, 68. I wasn't worried about 65. I wanted to see a break above 68 to have any type of relief rally to the upside. That didn't happen at this point. So we will continue to let you guys know how this is going, because right now there's a ton of bearish momentum on these candles. This is going on the third daily bearish candle. Potentially, you know, making a new low would be clearing 57,000. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's a huge opportunity. So the reason why I was talking to you guys about the importance of building in times of uncertainty, because those are typically the projects that I've seen over the past few bull runs that have done extremely well, because they just don't wait until the excitement comes back. They're continuing to build, they're continuing to establish partnerships no matter what. So definitely something to look at, guys. So hope you guys got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward in everything that you do. We'll see you soon.